Hey guys, what's going on? I got a very special guest today. She's one of my favorite people to have on the show, and I really appreciate her jumping on this early in the morning because I cannot go live today at 5:30. Because if you guys watched yesterday's show, I told you that there would be a show, it just wouldn't be live because today is my wonderful daughter's 18th birthday party. So she turned 18 on Tuesday, and I didn't do a live show then because we went out to the Revolving Restaurant. If you've been here in that's actually in Kentucky. It's a really cool restaurant. It spins around. You can see the whole views of the city. So we did that Tuesday. Tonight, actually, if you're watching this right now, I am in a night in Paris with my beautiful daughter and all her friends and family. And we're having a wonderful time. So I hope you guys enjoy this video that I'm about to do with Bengals Whitney, one of my favorite people to have on the show. She's from Tigers Talk. I had Jess on earlier this week. And if you guys do not watch Tigers Talk, you don't know what you're missing because these are four very pretty, very attractive women who know what the hell they're talking about when it comes to football and some movie stuff too, which is we'll get to that here in a minute. But anyway, let's get to Whit. Whit, what's up?
What's up? I really hope you're going to only speak French tonight at your night in Paris.
Oh God.
Let's hear your best French right now. I want to hear it.
Put me on the spot.
Mhm.
I like a French fry.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
That's all I got. I have nothing. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun tonight. Yeah, my daughter is very excited about it. She's like, she cracks me up. Like for like the last month, she's like, this is my last month of being not an adult. I'm gonna be 18 soon. I'm like, yes, I know, dear. I said, you have another year of school still, but I'm 18. Like, you're true. That's true. You're 18. Like, so she turned 18 Tuesday. I'm like, so do you feel any different? She goes, yes. I'm like, right, cool. So
it's a big deal.
It is. Well, it's a big deal. I mean, we're making this one a big one because, when she turned 16, that was in 2020. We couldn't do anything. We had a big party set up for her 16th birthday party then, had it all set up, had a hall rented and everything. And then the pandemic hit and shut it all down. So she got a drive-by here. And if you guys ever see my victory laps, not a drive-by, that sounds bad, a drive-by, but the birthday thing where everybody drives to the cars and she sits at that side and they wished her happy birthday. That's all she got for her sweet 16. So we wanted to do a sweet 17, but she's like, no, that's silly. We're not going to do that. I'm like, all right. So we're doing a big thing for 18. So anyway, that's where I'm at right now if you're watching the show. Now, if you're not watching the show, it's just me and Whit talking. So, or if you're, anyway, I said that wrong. Whatever. So, Whitney, all right. We had actually some Bengals news today. And this is, I think, refreshing to me because I remember back in the day for draft pick, and then he came in and broke his foot and missed his whole rookie season.
Started on Andre Smith. What I have to say, but go ahead.
But anyway, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, we signed a number one pick in Dax Hill, which is good because we don't know what's going on with Jesse Bates. So we're happy Dax is here. We're hoping Jesse comes, but we all understand what's going on. It sucks, but And today, per Mike Petraglia, Trags, the Bengals have signed 2 draft picks. Cam Taylor-Britt, who, if you heard his interview when he got drafted, sounds so excited to be here. I want to see the race between him and Chase and Higgins. And Jeff Gunner, and they're under contract, so we got 2 left. Cordell Volson and Zach Carter remain unsigned. So that's pretty cool, and it's freaking May. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm telling you, dude. I mean, I think people are excited to be a Bengal now.
Absolutely. I mean, it's how cool is it? And I know you live in Florida, and I've been down there and visited a couple of times. And I was down there in March, and I said this story before. Me and my wife went down to Florida for our 25th or 4th anniversary, the 25th anniversary, for the Super Bowl. And I'm wearing my Joe Burrow Bengals jersey. And everybody's like, Bengals, why are you wearing that? Blah, blah, blah. And then this year we went down in March and everybody's like, oh, the Bengals, we love you guys. It's awesome. Like, wow, kind of different from one year to the next.
Yeah. I had mentioned this on Tigers Talk, like I think 2 episodes ago, but yeah, it is funny being in Florida. So like if I wear Bengals gear out, I was telling the girls like before, like years past, you go out and you're wearing Bengals gear and you kind of go out with this posture of like what you want to say, like you're bracing for it, like what you want to say.
Come at me.
And like people either don't say anything at all or they would say stuff like, oh, maybe next year, guys, or like whatever. It
Right.
was all pathetic or shit talking. But
Right.
now you wear Bengal stuff out and you kind of walk with a little bit of swagger and you're like, yeah, I know. I know you love my
Exactly.
team. And you get compliments and who days and all that kind of stuff. It is different. So
Exactly. And like I was wearing like 2 years ago, I was wearing the Jackpot Joey stuff. That's when we started this stuff, and everybody's like, "Who the hell is Jackpot Joey?" Like, I'm like, "It's Joe Burrow." I'm like, "Oh." Now they're like number 9. And they see the orange 9. They're like, "Is that Joe Burrow?" I said, "Yeah, it is." I said, "Jackpot Joey, baby." So I'm like, they even know that stuff now. Which last year I had to explain it. So it's
yeah.
cool. I mean, that's what's cool. With the Bengals are cool. I mean, we have
Oh
Joe
yeah.
Burrow. You
Who's
have Jamar
cooler than
Chase.
us right now?
Nobody.
Who's
Duh. I mean.
cooler? Nobody. I saw tweets just this morning from Ravens fans and from Browns fans that were like, "Dude, it's hard. It's like impossible not to love Joe Burrow. Dude, like, got to give credit to Joe Burrow. He's awesome." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. There is not a team, and I don't care how great their quarterback is or how much they love their quarterback. There's no team that would be upset, no fan base that would be upset if they got their hands on Joe Burrow, but they
Oh,
can't because he's ours.
exactly,
He's
and we ain't
ours.
letting him go. Yeah, we
I
ain't letting him
know.
go. He's ours. He's an Ohio boy, and he's staying in Ohio. Now,
I love
speaking of
it.
that, he finally did do a podcast. I don't know if you got to watch that. It was I think it was called
Some of it.
Full Send, or I think that's
Olsen's.
yeah. I've never even heard of them. I mean, I'm old. I've never heard of these guys,
Me
so
too.
I watched it. And the funny thing with Jack Joe was so cool. He was just laid back, chill, just like Joe is. Those guys are trying to be cool and stuff, but they didn't know. It's like they didn't know anything about Burrow.
No.
It's just like they were just like asking questions like, "Oh, what was it like getting drafted and meeting Roger Goodell?" I'm like, well, he was at his house. It was
Right,
2020. Like, do you
right.
not know that? No, I don't know.
No.
It was just really interesting
No,
how these
the
guys are asking questions.
yeah, the disappointing part of that, and I don't know those dudes either, but is the fact that Joe doesn't do interviews almost ever, and they landed Joe Burrow for, like, not even a 5-minute quick little, like,
Uh-huh.
presser type interview,
Right.
like a long sit down interview,
Yeah.
and they didn't do a quick Google search on some stuff, like,
Right.
seriously, guys?
That's what I'm saying. I'm
So
like, dude.
unprofessional. But that being said, Joe did an amazing interview. Like, he
Oh
was in
yeah.
a right mood, I guess, and he had plenty to say, so it was
Yeah.
still a great interview, just
Oh, it
those
was
guys are
cool.
dorks.
Yeah, I tweeted him. I said that because they're like, "Why'd you decide to come on podcast?" He goes, "Oh, I was just bored." I'm like, "Dude, if you're ever bored, come on mine. I do it every
Right,
day." I'm like,
right.
so I've been blowing it up for the last 3 years trying to get him to come on. So it's and I'm the crazy
It's
guy
a
that's
hard interview
outside.
to land. He doesn't do many
Oh
of
yeah,
them. He's not
I know.
accessible, so and he stays off social media, so how do
Mhm.
you even get a hold of him? So, yeah, it's just a shame that they didn't do a little bit more
Research,
prep before the freaking interview, but
right?
still quality content
Yeah.
from thanks
Well,
to Joe.
I think they were a little messed up. I think from what it sounded like, they usually smoke weed during the episode, and I guess they weren't doing that because Joe was there. Joe didn't want him to, or whatever. And I think that might have been messing them up a little bit. So I don't
Maybe.
know. I
Whatever.
have no idea. But the thing is, for me, like I think Joe knows who I am because I'm out of practice so many freaking times, and I got all the Jackpot Joey stuff. So I don't think he knows I have a podcast. I think he knows I'm the guy with the Jackpot Joey stuff and the crazy guy on the bridge or whatever. Because I
He
was talking
recognized
to
yeah.
Zach Taylor, and I mean, I say talking, I was in a very quick conversation because I've told him a couple times, I'm going to be out here. He goes, I know you are. And I was talking to him, what was it, Wednesday? I think it was. I said, hey, Zach, I'd love to get you on my podcast sometime. And he kind of stopped. He goes, you got a podcast? I said, yeah. I said, here. I was trying to get my card. He goes, he goes, email. He goes, I will. He said, email Emily Parker. I'm like, all right, well, I emailed Emily, and there's too many of us right now, which I mean, I understand. There's so many people doing
I don't
Bengals
know what he's
podcasts.
talking about. There's only, like, 80 Bengals podcasts right now.
Right,
Not that much.
exactly. So she's like, we can't pick, choose which ones. I'm like, okay, well, I've been doing it for 3 years, and I always go to the practice. So why don't you pick me?
Right.
But
It is
anyway,
a tough spot for them to
oh,
be in right
I
now, for
yeah.
sure.
That's what I emailed her back. I said, I totally understand. I mean, it's hard, but
They love us. They love the fan base. They don't wanna piss anybody off.
right. So I'm still waiting. Darren Simmons told me he'd come on, and well, that was
That'd be
back.
cool.
That would be awesome. But again, that was back in August. No,
Yeah.
that was probably November.
All I know is that all the special teams guys are certifiably insane, and I love it.
Yes, they are. We know that for a fact. For 3 hours on Clark Harris with
Oh, it's
Bengals and
verified.
Brew.
100%. Wow.
Exactly. And then you jumped on, which hasn't come out yet, but you jumped on Bengals and Brews again because whenever these guys releases, they talk to Shane Graham for 4 hours. I talked to him for an hour. They blew me out of the water. They talked to him for 4 hours. So I'm really looking forward to whenever they release that. But you got to go on there for a little bit.
I just popped on for about, I don't know, somewhere between 30 minutes and an hour because I had to have dinner and I was not I was not drinking at all. And yeah, it was a party. I don't know how much of an interview it was, but it was a freaking party. I can at least testify to that. So I can't wait to see what they got
There's
into with
there's a lot of subtle flexes going on there, huh?
it.
Still something for Clark Harris.
I
When
think
she
they were
cracked,
making up flexes at that point.
he cracked me up because I videoed him because I was like, "Hey," I said, "Is that a flex?" He goes, "What? Did you come out to practice every single day?" I started laughing. I said, "I try." I said, "Hey," I said, "Dale says hi." I said, "Are you and Dale like best friends now?" And he just turned around and waved. So, it was
Nice,
cool. But
nice.
I'm trying not to blow him up because he gets all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah,
it was cool. I got to talk to him, and he, it was who we are now.
very cool.
Anyway, so let's get to Tigress talk here. And you guys had a very interesting debate. I just brought this up, and most people on here, I think,
Very serious topic.
very, very serious discussion here. Most
Yeah.
people on here know the movie Step Brothers, one of the best movies ever made. I freaking love it. And to be honest, I remember this part of the movie, but never even paid attention to it. Question is, when they're in the Catalina, I can't say it, the Catalina mixer and the 80s band's going on, and they're trying to make requests, and the guy's like, "No, we don't do that. No, we don't do that." All of a sudden, he goes, "Shut up, you skank whore or steak whore or whatever it is. We're not sure." And I never even paid attention to actually what he said, but then I listened to it and I'm like, it does kind of sound like steak whore. But then Cap, who Cap knows everything, so he says
Yeah.
it's skank whore. So I'm like, I don't know. I mean,
Hooker.
go ahead, hooker. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Hooker.
Yeah, my bad. So I'll let you go ahead. It was your story. I'll let you tell it.
I just know that if you have not seen this episode of Tigers Talk, you should go if you just really want to see four people who cannot get it together. Because I laughed. I don't think I've laughed that hard in years. I was crying. When I got off the episode that night, I had went to get tissues to dry my eyes. And my nose was running. I was so beside myself over this debate. And there was a piece of Kleenex that was stuck to my eyelid. It was a mess, but it was so funny because yeah, that scene, if you look it up, Jess always just assumed that it was the guy said steak hooker,
Yeah,
which
steak
makes
hooker.
no sense because no one's in the history of man has ever said steak hooker. And we had just got done talking about the Tampa game, right? And how Tampa has a lot of strip clubs, and there's this one strip club where there's a really nice steakhouse, like 5-star steakhouse within a strip club, which is kind of the genesis. It's what made Jess think about steak hooker.
That
Oh,
would
you
be
know
that
that
would
line
only
from
be
Step Brothers where he says steak hooker, and it turns out that is not what is said. It is skank hooker, which makes much more sense.
and
And it's just
that's
a
a total
really
Florida thing to have a 5-star steak restaurant in a strip club. That's a total Florida thing.
all I know is keep an eye out, Twitter, because steak hooker t-shirts are coming. I will die on that hill. That has got to happen. And I feel like we're going to make just crop tops for men and women, and we're all going to wear them in Tampa, steak hooker steak tops, and we're probably all going to have a meet at that restaurant. So
There you go.
stay tuned.
That sounds like fun. Well, I'm gonna be down there for the Tampa Bay Buccaneer game. So
That's right.
yeah,
Yay!
yeah. Flex. Oh,
Flex.
it's not the same with popping coffee, but
Mm. It'll do. It'll do.
it'll do. It'll do. Now we talked about that. I am going to that Florida game. So are you? And I think we talked about this last time that I was hoping that it was going to be, Thanksgiving night and make it a lot easier for me because I'm already be down in Florida for Thanksgiving. So you and I finally figured out you don't actually live in Tampa. You're on the other side. I'm
in Melbourne.
Yeah, I'm a little slow sometimes. I figured that out. So when you come in, go to that game, are you staying the night in Tampa, or are you driving and driving
Yeah.
back?
I'm
Okay.
gonna drive, but it's, Jerry has had this on her schedule forever, and so when we found out it was a home game in Tampa, all of the Tigers Talk girls are getting together. So me and, at least Kayla are spending the night with, Jer Bear. So we'll be spending a few days in Tampa probably hanging out, the girl crew is gonna get together.
Awesome. So that's what Justin talked about, the Tigers Talk sleepover. You're gonna
Yes.
actually gonna happen.
Yes.
Sweet. Well, you guys definitely have to DM me or something. I don't not for the sleepover, but go have a drink somewhere or something
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
we'll be out on the town and stuff. We'll see everybody and do tailgates and that kinda stuff. I love that it's, not a 1 o'clock game. It should be perfect weather
Mhm.
that time of year, starting after, like, 4:30,
Right.
having, like, the sunset, having, like, the nighttime, like, it should be great
Yeah,
weather-wise,
exactly.
so,
Yeah,
yeah.
like this time of year in Florida, I hate because I did live there for like a year and a half, and this Ohio boy does not like the summer in Florida. It is
Oh,
too
you
freaking
wuss.
hot. Oh,
It's just
dude.
as hot and muggy in frickin'
Bull
Cincinnati.
crap. Okay, I'll tell
Listen,
you
dude,
this.
I have
Look,
the weather app on my phone, dude,
you're
just like everybody
woman,
else, and I look at
woman,
you no, whatever, and it's, like, overcast and a little rainy today and cool, so
you're inside right
whatever.
now. You're inside in the air conditioning. Okay. See,
Yeah, I
this
was
guy went.
outside before I got on here with you.
Yeah, but this guy when I lived down there, I had to work outside.
Well, that's
Uh,
different, that sucks.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. I told you.
That does suck.
That does suck. It's like I would like we lived in our a second
Touche.
floor apartment. So and I'm not kidding. I'll never forget this. It's like 6 in the morning. I had to be working at 7. I opened the door up. It's like, wham! Like, oh, it's like the humidity just hit me. And by the time I walk downstairs and go to my truck, I'm already sweating. I'm like, I haven't even done anything yet. I'm like, what the
Yeah,
hell? And
yeah, you
that's
just got it's air you can wear. But you're used to that in Cincinnati too, if you don't have to work outside.
what
If you have to
yeah.
work outside, I get it, but
What
if
not
not,
right. This is what I said, but it's not at 6:30 in the freaking morning, and it's not all damn day. It happens here, but it's different. Yeah, there are days that it gets like that.
okay, okay, but it's gonna be great in Tampa because in
Yes,
December,
no,
you're gonna be
right,
very happy about the
right.
warmer weather, and it'll
I
be,
will.
nice and dark
Yes,
outside and cool.
yes,
So
exactly. That's the time of
great.
year I like going. I never get to go down there that time, but that's the time of year I like going because it's
This
great.
time you do.
Yes, exactly. I get to hang out with you. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yes. Yes.
It'll be a very very cool time. So, do you guys got any cool guests or anything special coming up on Tigress Talk or anything?
We're just kinda, rolling with it right now 'cause, it's off season, so, if Jess or any of us, like, feel like there's something that we need to talk about, we pop on. We don't have our next episode scheduled just yet, so people just need to follow Tiger Talk Pod so they know, we give everybody lots of heads up usually when we're gonna
Exactly.
broadcast, so yeah.
You know, one thing I do like about Twitter, Twitter is so cool sometimes. Like, there are times where Twitter is they're mean, not nice, but there are times that Twitter's pretty damn cool. Like I said, we yesterday I was tweeting out because the guys from Full Send got Joe Burrow on there, but just I guess they tweeted him out. I don't know. They said he finally answered them. So like I said, I've been tweeting him out for like the last 3 years to try to get him on. So I blew him up yesterday. Try to see if he's still on social media, see if he answered. So many people that watch my show retweeted it, quote tweeted it, saying, "Hey, you should jump on Jeff's show or jump on Iceman's show or start whatever the hell you want to call me. Jump on a show. He's a great guy." Blah blah. Blah. I'm like, oh, I got a whole bunch of love. I like it. I mean, I don't know if Joe
Yeah.
saw any of it, but it's still pretty damn cool. I thought.
Twitter's great. I mean, um, I'm sure it can be awful, but I feel like the Bengals fans, which is the only people I follow really, and the only people that follow me are pretty freaking awesome. And so I'm insulated from all the bad stuff, I guess, on Twitter because I have a
Right,
good crew that I associate with on there. So if you're having a bad time on Twitter, I suggest deleting some of your follows.
right, right. Exactly.
Be
That
careful who
might.
you associate with. But if it's Bengals Nation, that's a good time.
There you
That's
go.
a
Absolutely. Now,
good people.
when you go and do something like which it was kind of funny a couple weeks ago. If the Bengals game's on NFL Network, I usually tweet it out saying, "Hey, if you want to watch Bengals Titans, Bengals Chiefs, whatever, it's on NFL Network now." Well, they had the Bengals Chiefs on,
Yeah,
not the
I
play,
saw that.
yeah, not the playoff game, but the one at home,
The
and
oh, mhm.
and I videoed I videoed third and 27. Is that what, or fourth and 27?
Yes.
So I videoed that off my TV. I said, and I wasn't really trying to troll the Chiefs fans. I was just talking smack. But anyway,
Chiefs
after
fans are hurt right now.
oh god.
They
So I
down
said,
bad.
hey, Chiefs fans, you remember this? I got so much freaking coming back, and they're like, and a couple of them were like, you Bengals fans, you just don't respect the Chiefs. I'm like, no. I respect the Chiefs. That's why this is so cool that we beat you. I'm
Exactly.
like,
If
no,
we
this,
didn't
this I'm like,
respect, we beat a lot of people. We ain't talking about that.
right, exactly. I'm like, we beat you twice, and both times in the second half, we only let you score 3 times. That's awesome because your team is so good, and Patrick Mahomes is so good. That's why I'm like, this is cool. This
That's
is
why
more
it's a big deal.
right.
Yeah.
It's not shade.
Yeah.
It's shade, but it's more respect. Like, that's
Yeah.
the way. So I kind of had to go back and forth with a couple of them. And I had this one where he's a Chiefs fan, and he kept sending me gifts or gifs, where the hell you want to call it, of the Rams winning the Super Bowl. I'm like, are you a Rams fan or a Chiefs fan? He was just kind of like, all right, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
we beat you guys to go play them, and they beat us. And
Hey, we
so,
made it to the Super Bowl. So there's
right.
that. And number 2, we lost, but it was a very winnable game. So it was not like we got blown out or some crap. But I have noticed what I was really surprised about this season is that Chiefs fans and Ravens fans were god awful on Twitter. Like, I mean, I don't think I ever said anything to provoke anybody, and it
Right.
didn't matter. You didn't have to say anything. They were just looking for picking fights and very upset. And that kind of surprised me because you would expect that from like Steelers
Right.
or maybe Browns fans or no, none of that. It was truly Ravens and Chiefs fans were salty.
I got I got a
No,
conversation
they
with
still are. They're still emotional basket cases
they
right
are.
now.
I got a conversation with a guy at Outback. Um, he's a Ravens fan. Actually, his dad's a Bengals fan, and he's like, "Oh, he's a Ravens fan." I was like, "Oh man, you like the Ratbirds?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Man, I'm sorry, I had to beat you down twice last year." We were hurt. I said that first game you weren't. He goes, "Oh yeah, well we this guy was hurt, that guy was hurt." I said, "You still had Lamar, you still had this." I'm like, "We still dropped 40 on you." I was like, "Yeah, okay. Like, we'll see what happens this year." I said, "It's gonna be a good game." I said, I'm looking forward to it. If you beat us, you beat us. I don't think you're
You
going
know
to."
what? One of the things that I feel like people aren't talking about too much about, our schedule this year is beyond the fact that, like, what is it? We're, like, 3rd or tied for 3rd or something for strength of schedule,
Something like that, yeah.
something like that. It's a
Mhm.
hard schedule,
The hard schedule, yes.
no matter how you slice it.
Mhm.
So I know a lot of people have been talking about some of those key matchups and some of the, like, really heavy hitters that we're up against. But not a lot of people are talking about the revenge factor. There's some teams that are they really wanna make a statement with us, and they
Mhm.
really want a redemption moment with us, Chiefs being one of them and Ravens
Mhm.
being another, you know?
Mhm.
They have got they've got our game circled,
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
like double in
Mhm.
red.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So,
It'll be
I'm
like I
pretty
said, it's not gonna be an easy schedule. It's gonna be a fun schedule to watch. I mean, it's like people are like, there's a couple games like I'm surprised like the Chiefs game is not in prime time. I'm surprised the Buccaneers game is not in prime time. But they can't put everything in prime time. Both those games
I
are
know, but I am
4:25.
mostly, surprised about the Chiefs one because you would figure that's why they threw them on our schedule is for that moment, that rematch
Right,
moment.
right. Yeah, normally that's what they do. If it's the
Yeah,
AFC Championship rematch, they throw it out, and it's like right at the beginning of the season, somewhere around
yeah,
there. And that's
yeah.
why I was like, dude, I'm telling you, Sunday night Chiefs Bengals. That's what I thought I was.
Yeah, but instead they got us against isn't the Dolphins game in prime time or something?
Is it Dolphins game? I'll try it. Oh, the time's on there. I can't.
It's
No,
got an
it's
asterisk by it, yeah.
there
I
you
can't
go.
I can't see that close up, but,
Yeah, we're old. I need my glasses. Hang on.
I know.
Hold on. Put my glasses on here, Sonny. Hold on. Let me get closer. Let's see here. Where's the Dolphins at?
Week 4, babe. Week 4.
Thank you. Yeah. Is that an asterisk? That is an asterisk. Yeah. Oh, that's on Thursday night.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
like, why that one?
I
Like,
don't
who
know.
cares about
Yeah.
that one? I don't know.
I think I got my
Anyway,
old man glasses on.
I think it's impossible to go to the Super Bowl and not have a target on your back because now
Oh,
people take it
absolutely.
really seriously and they prepare for you a little differently sometimes, or they get excited about the matchups and stuff. So I think we already had that, and we have tough teams we're up against, but there's a few in particular that I think are really like dead serious about
Oh
a
yeah.
redemption moment against us. And so that does add a little level of difficulty. But at the same time, it's fine because it's football and our team ain't scared of nothing or
Oh
nobody.
well, that
So it's cool. It's like,
yeah,
whatever.
that's what was so cool. What Joe said the other day in his press conference. He's like, because most like I remember I've heard this from former Bengals of the '80s. That went to the Super Bowl. They've never watched the game all the way through. Never. Either one. They've never watched them. Joe's like, yeah, I'll watch it the next day. I'll see what I did good, what I did bad. Yeah, we'll move on to the next one. I'm
Yeah.
just like, yeah, he's like, it sucked to lose, but I'm like, that's insane, dude, because it was hard for me to watch it. And and he watched like the next day. That's where Zim always says this on Wednesday night. He goes, Joe Burrow is a psychopath, which he is. He's a psychopath. He's wired differently, and it's not a bad thing. It's just stuff doesn't
It's a
bother
great
him.
thing. Are you kidding?
Right.
It's a great thing, and he's looking at it through the lens of a professional. He's a professional. This is his profession. This is his
Right.
expertise. Like, he's not gonna like, what value is going to that game if you don't have takeaways, win or lose? Like,
Mhm.
you should still dissect that and learn from it.
Yeah.
Um, and you know what I loved? Um, a comment that he made on that podcast that I absolutely loved is they were talking to him about, like, him getting some flack about celebrating,
All right.
um
With Kid Cudi. Hmm.
yeah, after the game, and he said he had been watching A Football Life
Yes.
on, NFL Network, which I
Love it.
devour those episodes.
Mhm.
That's one of the best documentary series on TV, in my opinion. They're so well done.
Mhm.
But he had been watching the Kurt Warner one before the Super Bowl, and Kurt said, one of his big regrets was that he didn't celebrate, after the Super Bowl loss that he had
Mhm.
because his team had this great season and they didn't take time to appreciate it. And so he didn't want to repeat that same mistake. He said, like, we had this amazing season. So I wanted to celebrate what we accomplished and
Right.
how good that was,
Mhm.
instead of just like, what's the alternative to, like, sit around and sulk and lick your wounds about the
Right.
one game that you lost? Like, instead of is celebrating, like, damn, we weren't even supposed to do anything this year and look
Right.
how great we did. Like, so it was such a healthy mentality and so smart, it's so wise. I think
Yes.
there's a level of wisdom there for that young man that it doesn't get enough appreciation.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the funny thing for me is because I've said it on here a couple of times. I'm 47 years old, and I've watched them lose all three of them now. And it was kind of weird because it was how I handled losing it and my son handled losing it. He's still pissed off. I mean, I'm not happy. All right, but
No, who's happy about losing it?
yeah, but he can't watch it, and I've watched it. And I'm like, yeah, I got it. I got over the law. I'm not over it, but got dealt with it better than I did when I was in my,
You've
you
come
know,
to accept it.
yes. And I come. And the thing is we're not done with. I mean, we're going to go back
This
there,
is the freaking beginning
right? And
of
that's
an
where I'm
era.
like this is people don't realize. People are like, it's a fluke. Like, no, it's
No, it's
it's
not
not
a
a it's not a fluke.
it's
I'm
a
like, we
sign of things to come, and
right.
honestly, um, I feel like if people get in their feelings about the Super Bowl,
Mhm.
go back and think about what you were thinking in this time last season.
Right.
Like, you were excited, you were cautiously optimistic, Joe was coming back, we were worried about his knee, is he gonna play week 1, what blah, 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 all of that kinda stuff. This was a freaking bonus season. This season was a freaking gift, it was a blessing, like, I mean, we were just you can't tell me there wasn't a single Bengals fan, a diehard Bengals fan, that wasn't just stoked and shocked and excited that we made it to the playoffs last year.
Right.
And then the fact that we broke the curse and won a playoff game, that
Mhm.
was like our freaking Super Bowl. I was at that game. I know
Mhm.
what the energy was like. I
Mhm.
didn't see a dry eye in the stadium. Every grown
I was
man
crying.
around me was bawling their eyes out.
Mhm.
So whatever. So, like, if you get too upset about the fact that we lost the Super Bowl, remind yourself that we made it to the freaking Super Bowl when you didn't even think we were gonna make it to the playoffs for sure.
Mhm. And not only did we make it to
Bonus
the Super
season.
Bowl, we won our first playoff game. We won our first two road playoff games ever. So I'm like,
Yeah,
literally every obstacle the Bengals hadn't accomplished in a while or had not ever accomplished, everything except the big one, winning the Super Bowl, we knocked it out last year. So I mean,
yeah. We
it's
broke so many curses last year. Last year
right,
was about, like, taking all the skeletons in our closet, all the curses that we had, and
mhm,
freaking taking a torch to them and burning them down.
right,
So this season is, like, more about beating our own standards, probably,
mhm,
breaking our own records, like, setting our own, new, like, records to break,
right.
instead of worrying about teams past and the curses that we had there. We got rid of all that last season. What a great, like, cathartic thing. And so this season we can just, like, it's all about the future. It's the
Mhm.
beginning of an era. I feel great about it. I'm
I,
excited.
I'm fired up now. One other thing that Joe brought up, and this to me is another thing that how mature he is, and it kills Bengals fans to talk about this, but he said he was going to check to Jamar in that last play,
I know.
and
Yeah,
and if he had
I don't
time,
talk about it.
and I'm like, and I'm not trying to bring everybody down, but to me, if you actually really put yourself in that moment, and he has time to throw that ball, Ramsey's on the ground, Chase is open, throws it, touchdown. I'm getting goosebumps right now. That that play could have been one of the most historic plays in NFL history if we could have freaking pulled it
Sure.
off. And that goes to the guts and the confidence that Joe Burrow has that he was going to do it if he could have got the ball off. So
Mm.
that's what I'm saying. We got the offensive line fixed. When that moment happens again this year,
Theoretically, on
they're
paper,
throwing
yeah,
it.
you still need all the stars to align. Like, we
Mhm,
we really, had the most fortunate year I can recall in recent memory
mhm.
in the modern era of, injury luck and that kind of stuff. And then, we just got so much progressively better. But yeah, you've got to be optimistic about the O line, of
Yes.
course, and the upgrades that we made there. I think where I get most optimistic about it is just it shouted from the rooftops that Bengals are in win now mode and they're serious and they're not trying to, like, just sell tickets. They're trying to freaking capitalize on this moment in time that we've got right now with Joe and all this gang together. And so I loved it for that reason alone. But yeah, I wish I could remember which dude it was on one of the either ESPN shows or NFL Network shows that said a while ago, when somebody was saying, like, I worry about Joe and I worry
Mhm.
about the Bengals protecting Joe. And the rebuttal from the guy was like, I'm worried for the league because if the Bengals figure out how to give Joe just a couple more seconds, who's gonna beat
Mhm.
him? Like, how do you beat him? And that gets me excited because I think all Bengals fans kind of feel the same way. If you rewatch that season, you
Mhm.
give Joe 2 more seconds, you give him a little bit more option, um,
Over.
who beats us? How do you beat us?
Nobody. We win.
I don't
We
know.
win in the most dramatic fashion ever.
Look
Game
at those
winning.
weapons that we've got, and look at our freaking defense, how they're performing, and we got
Exactly.
better. So
Exactly. Now let's talk about the defense here. Now we have unfortunately have Jesse Bates who is holding out. Now I don't, and Paul Daniel Jr. was on my
who
show
said he's
yesterday.
holding out? Not technically.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
holding.
kinda, but not
Yeah, but I
really.
mean, I think everybody
Not
knew he
that
wasn't going to show up. He didn't want to play on the franchise tag. I don't think he's going to sit the season. I don't think he's going to just spit on $13 million. I mean that's what he's getting. That's more money than he's made yet.
bad.
So people say, well, we should trade him. We should do this. I think Jesse Bates is going to show up. And the thing that's what the cool thing about this culture with this team is. I think he's going to show up, and I think everybody's going to welcome him back. Like, hey, what's up? Let's go win this thing. And then next year he can move on or whatever. I don't think it's going to be as big a distraction as issues like that have been in the past because of the culture in this locker room.
I think everybody's feels exactly the same way. I don't know that there's much up for debate. So, like,
Mhm,
if you hear any players talk about this, and if you hear any fans talk about this, the general feeling is that everybody wants Jesse to be a Bengal. Everybody, also, like, understands and wants Jesse to get paid. Like, you
mhm,
only get so many opportunities to, like, to set your salary in this league, and he's in his prime. He's at a great age. He's shown, how talented he is. So I think everybody, like, loves Jesse enough that we're like, "We want you to get paid." I think everybody loves Jesse enough that they want him for sure to remain a Bengal for the rest of his career, theoretically, or at least for a while. Like, he's a foundational piece of our
Right.
defense.
Mm-hmm.
But we also appreciate the situation he's in. So, and it's out of our hands. Like, there's just, for me, it's getting to a point where, like, what do we have to talk about?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're either going to come up with a number that both parties are happy with, or they're not. And it is what it is. It's a shame. I think that the agent has the most to do with it, because that agent is a dog. He is a beast. People hire him for a reason. His people get paid, and I think he's a fighter. And so I think that's probably our biggest obstacle to the deal, because I think Jesse wants to stay here too. He does. I think he loves the guys, and I think he knows what we're building here, and he was a part of building it.
Mm-hmm.
He has
Yeah.
so much invested in this, and so
No,
yeah.
I agree with everything you're saying. I
We're on
mean,
the same page. It's just a matter of if they find a number.
yeah, and I think, like I said, you said, I think Jesse wants to be here. He likes it here, but he did hire this agent for a reason, and
Is it
to get
that
as much
agent?
money, and that's
T.
what the
Higgins
agent's for.
too?
Huh? Yeah, T. Higgins. Yeah, he's T. Higgins' agent too, which kind of scares me.
So yeah.
But I think the Bengals would be more willing to pay T. Higgins than they are, and that, I hate to say that, but they're probably going to pay T. Higgins more money than they are Jesse Bates. And the thing is, with Bates, personally, I think it's more the guaranteed that they're trying to get. Because now, if you listen to what Jesse said multiple times, that he does not have to be the highest paid safety in the league. He wants to be up there. Now, if you're talking 13, 14 million a year, I think the Bengals would probably do that. Again, this is just me talking. I have no idea. It's just my opinion. I think it's more of his agent is trying to get him guaranteed money, because everybody else he's gotten these big contracts, he's gotten guaranteed money. The Bengals don't guarantee, and I don't think they want to guarantee a safety. I think they'd be more willing to guarantee money to Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase than they would a safety. That's just my opinion. That's where I think the hang up is. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know.
Yeah. The thing is, we can talk about it till we're blue in the face. The bottom line is Jesse Bates will most likely not miss the season. I just can't see him doing that. I can't see him, like I said, spit on $13 million.
I don't think he helps his own case sitting out a season. I don't see that happening either.
And he's making himself lose money that he'll never get back, no matter how big a contract. Say he gets a big contract, he'll still never get that $13 million that he's guaranteed right now.
And it is in his favor. I mentioned this on another show. It's in his favor to come out and have a bomb year.
Exactly.
Because then, like, even if it's on a franchise tag, it's in his favor to put together a season that, like, it makes a case that there's no doubt in any team's mind that somebody is going to pay him exactly what he wants, so I don't know that it does him any favors at all to sit out. I think his comment the other day that got so blown up about, like, well, it wasn't his comment. It was an insider close to the situation who said that he had no intention of playing on the franchise tag. I don't know why that was a shocking comment to anybody. I don't know that it even meant or implied that he planned on sitting out if they didn't come to a contract. I think it might have, the way I took it as a possible meaning is that he had no intention, because he fully wants and hopes and expects and is working on still trying to get an actual deal done, versus playing on a franchise tag. So for me, the sky isn't falling.
No, it's not.
It's business, and this happens for a player on every team every year. Jesse's a professional. He's at a pivotal point in his career as a young man who's very talented. So I'm pro Jesse in this. Like, get your money, do your thing, whatever. I just hope there's not a greed level being perpetuated by his agent that
that's
so
where I'm
tacky that it makes it hard for us to make a deal, because he should stay a Bengal. I think everybody would be happy with that. So
that's kind of where I'm at. I think his agent's making it harder. Well, obviously he's making it hard. That's his job. He's trying to get his job. Money. Yeah, he's doing his job.
Yeah,
but it's kind of like, are you doing your job to Jesse's detriment? Is what I want to know. And I don't know, because I have no idea how much the Bengals offered or any of this stuff.
None of us know. We're just speculating.
Right. And the thing is, really, for Jesse to not come to training camp or OTAs or anything like that, that's really the only play he has, which really isn't even that much of a leverage, because the Bengals already have him. He's under a franchise tag. If he wants to play, he has to sign that, or they get a new contract, which is what Jesse wants. The Bengals went out and drafted not only one safety, but two. So the Bengals like, Jesse, unfortunately, is in a rock and a hard place. And if he wants his money, he's going to have to come either they got to come to terms on something they both agree on, or he's got to play on a franchise tag. And that's kind of where they're at. And then I think this is like a last desperate thing by this agent going, all right, well, we're just not going to show up. I'm like, all right, good luck with that. That's kind of where the Bengals are at, I think, unfortunately. So I think he's going to show up I think he's going to play during the season. I don't know if he'll miss all of training camp or I don't know. We'll find out. It's
obviously not an easy solution, or else they would have come up with one by now because we've been at this for a long time.
2
So
years. And like I said, I thought they'd sign him last year. I was surprised it didn't happen. So
yeah.
One thing I want to bring up, and Jess brought this to my attention because I love Good Morning Football, and I know you are a Good Morning Football aholic, and I didn't realize this
right
until,
now.
Yeah, I didn't realize this till Jess because I'm working, but I try to catch it when I can. But I didn't realize this till Jess told me, Hube, that Kay Adams is leaving Good Morning Football.
Done. She had her last episode last week.
I didn't see. I haven't watched this. Well, I watched it, and sometimes they're not all on there, so I didn't pay attention to. I thought it was just on vacation or whatever. What does that do to the program? Because to me, she's a mainstay on that thing, and I don't know. And
she was the ringleader of the circus, right?
Yeah, and she was a Bengals fan. She's a huge Bengals fan for us last year, so that was awesome. So
I know. Listen, it was inevitable. Her star is rising so much, and she's earned that.
Right.
And so I'm sure she's had opportunities thrown at her left and right, probably for the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. And so I'm sure she didn't leave because she was tired of it and she didn't love it. I'm sure she left because there was finally an opportunity she felt like she couldn't pass up. And so I'm stoked for her, like on a personal level and just somebody who adores her and respects her. I'm so excited for her. I do think it is interesting. I think the show will carry on and still be great because it still has its secret sauce. Right. It does things differently. It covers football in a different way, and it's fun and it's hip and it's cool. And so I don't think the show is going anywhere for any amount of for a very long time, but it is a little different between Nate being gone now and her being gone. Mm-hmm. It's like 50% of
and the thing is, they never replaced
team is gone.
Yeah. So. And they never replaced Nate. That was one thing I'm surprised they never. I mean, they would always have a guest host like every week or every other episode. I'm like, they never replaced him
though, because I've liked all the people that they've had on, and they all bring something different. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of kept it mixed up. But yeah, they have not.
I'm hoping they figure out at least like they can't have two revolving. Well, I guess they could have two revolving, guest hosts or whatever. I hope they figure out who to replace Kay and Nate, and you can still bring on a guest from here. But it's still kind of it'd be interesting to see
who. The same.
No, it's not gonna be it's not gonna be the same. But
it'll still be great though. It is my favorite show. They really buck trends. They don't talk about the same rehash storylines that everybody else is, or if they do, it's not in the same way. I feel like they do a great job of giving all the teams like pretty equal coverage. They're not one of those ESPN shows that feels like they have to dedicate 50% of their show talking about the Cowboys just because Jerry Jones owns the freaking league. Basically, like they don't cower to that. Mm-hmm. So, and then they do fun, unique stuff that nobody else does, and that's still going to be the case. Love
that. That's why and they don't sit there and yell at each other. That's why I can't stand these debate shows where they're just like, well, this guy's on this side and this guy's on this side. And there's
Skip Bayless.
Skip Bayless. How people could stand to watch him, I don't understand. He literally takes the most obscure, obnoxious point that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever and tries to argue it. And like I said, I only know that because I watched very, very little of it. I can't stand it, but I'm like that doesn't make any sense. Why are you even arguing that?
Equivalent of like a clickbait, but in a TV show format.
Yes.
Because all it is like these little clips that get put on social media, starts a debate, starts a fight, and so it gets shared and gets talked about. So it's like the equivalent of a clickbait ad. Yes. On social media is those shows, and I am not down with it. I'm not here for it. I don't want it. fun debate is one thing.
Yeah.
I will say for Good Morning Football, I think is it Slater that's on right now in KC, and I love her. I'm an
Mhm.
advocate for her. I would be okay with her getting it. But also, does anybody not remember when Rachel Bonnetta was on there for a little bit and was an
Mhm.
absolute psychopath woman?
Yes.
I loved it, and even though she's a Browns fan, like, she's the single
She
Browns fan that I absolutely adore with my entire heart.
her
So,
best one when
I
she
would
did the angry runs. That was awesome when
oh
she
my
did that.
god, legend. Instant legend.
Yes. Yes.
Instant legend, and so I'm down for the Rachel Bonnetta, deal. I would adore talking to her,
Yeah.
actually, now that I think about it, but
Well, you're on a Strawberry Ice show, so I got lots of connections.
okay. Hook me up, hook me
That's that's a completely. I can't even get Joe Burrow on my show. Come on
up.
now. Anyway, Whit, you've been on for like 45 minutes. I appreciate it. Like I said, if you guys are watching right now, we recorded this earlier today because my awesome daughter's birthday party is going on right now. So Whitney from Tigers Talk was gracious enough to jump on my show, and she is awesome. So Whit, tell her about Tigers Talk and everything you guys got going on before I let you go.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Bengals Whitney, just like here, and then find us at Tigers Talk Pod
Mhm.
on Twitter. It's 4 women talking about football, having a great time doing it. We have some exciting, fun things planned for the season. But if you follow us, we'll give you a heads up when we are about to go live so you can hang out with us.
Now, aren't you doing a giveaway too? Isn't that what Jess
Yeah,
said?
when we hit 1,000 subscribers on
Yeah.
YouTube, we're giving
Yeah.
away a game-worn jersey. So definitely, but you have to be a subscriber on YouTube in order to qualify to win it. So
So how many subscribers do you have right now?
we're close to 700, I think. So we're getting
Ooh. There you go. So if you guys subscribe to my show, go subscribe to their show. You never know. You might get a game worn jersey.
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like we're brothers and sisters in shows, right? Our
Exactly.
show and your show are bro and sis.
Exactly. Exactly. I've had. I can't get Jerry Bear on. I keep trying to get her on, and oh God, I'm her.
Kayla,
Yeah, yes, Kayla. I can't get her on either. But you've been on here the most, and Jess has been on here too. So I gotta get those two on sometime. But
yeah,
I know they're
that'd be
busy.
fun time.
I just have all 4 of you on sometime. We'll just have a Strawberry Ice
Ooh,
Tigers Talk show. One big extravaganza. Maybe we do like a late night Strawberry Ice Saturday night thing or something.
there you go.
Whoa.
Get it and make it happen, dude.
All right, Whit. You have a wonderful day, and I thank you guys for watching.
You
Who
too.
day?
Who day?